What comes to mind when you envision your American dream? When I think of living the American dream, I can think of material things that I could obtain. I think of things such as owning a car, a decent one, having a good job, and ultimately owning my own home. I have, as an adult, rented all of my life an apartment or a house, and recently I have purchased my own home. And when I thought about the American dream, to me, I always envisioned having a nice 3-bedroom home with a big backyard, a place for my child to play, a dog. I would also like to have a basketball hoop over the garage, but these are all things I envisioned and thought of when I thought of home ownership and having my own place to call home. My name is Sierra Daniels, and today I'm going to discuss with you the benefits of buying versus renting a home, and I'd like to persuade you into seriously considering purchasing a home. There are many things to consider when deciding whether or not renting a home or buying a home is good for you. So which is right? You have to take into consideration multiple things. So today I'm going to cover with you the financial benefits as well as the stability and security that comes along with owning a home versus renting. Let us first discuss the financial benefits of buying a home versus renting a home. Some of the financial benefits of buying a home: you build up equity. Equity is the difference between the market value of the home and the outstanding balance of the mortgage loan of the home, as defined in the article Renting versus Owning a Home from Bank of America on the web 2016. So it's an investment. When you purchase a home, it's like putting money in a piggy bank. You can eventually take out a loan against your mortgage, because it's like your personal little piggy bank there. So you build equity. It's an investment. You have a possibility of lowering your monthly mortgage payments, and also once you buy a home, you can write it as a tax deduction. When you rent a home, obviously you don't build equity because you don't own it. You have the possibility of high rent payments, and you don't get any tax deductions at all. Right here on the screen, I'm sharing with you my personal rent versus buying that I calculated. I calculated here at the top the amount that I paid in rent. I was renting a 2-bedroom apartment with an attached garage. The monthly rent was $575. I stayed there for 5 years, so I multiplied that times 70 months, and I paid a total of $40,250 in rent to one person in the past 5 years. My home that you see there in the background that I recently purchased, I purchased for the amount of $59,900. I'm sorry, let me go back. And it's a 3-bedroom house with a 2-car garage. As you can see, I've already paid more than half of my house off in rent to somebody else. So if I had invested that money in my own home, I would nearly have paid it off. The difference in that amount only comes out to $19,650. But those are some of the things you might want to consider if you're thinking about purchasing or buying a home. This picture here just represents my piggy bank growing now that I've invested in myself. Now that we discussed the financial benefits of owning a home, we'll reflect on some of the freedoms that come with purchasing your own home. There's pros and cons to both renting and buying. When you're owning a home, the pros could be that you get to decorate. I can hang a nail without worrying about whether or not I'm going to put a hole in somebody else's wall and have to pay for damages. My mortgage payments are fixed. They're not going to change over the years. Some of the cons to owning, though, also are that I'm responsible for all major damages, and anything that happens to my property, I have to get fixed. Now, some of the pros to renting was that my landlord was responsible for all of the maintenance and repairs. But the cons to renting a home were that The landlord could put restrictions on what you're decorating, what you're changing. You couldn't paint, hang anything. The cost of rent could change. My landlord decided that he wanted to raise my rent, and he did after a year. And the property can be sold at any time, which is also what's going on with the previous property that I rented. There are multiple things to consider when you're deciding whether or not purchasing is good for you or renting. You want to think about, are you ready to commit to live in one place for at least 3 years? Do you have a secure job? How's your credit? How much can you afford, and are you going to pay monthly for mortgage or rent? How much money do you have for a down payment? Are there assistance programs for home buyers? So don't be dissuaded or don't feel discouraged if you feel like you don't have money to put down, because there's multiple programs that will help in assisting, especially first-time home buyers, where you don't have to have 20% down. They will help you, because I went through a program as such. In conclusion, there is much to consider when deciding if you want to purchase or rent a home, but there's so much to gain when you decide that you're going to buy. We've discussed the financial benefits, the stability and security that come along with buying a home, as well as what to consider when you make that choice. Make your American dream a reality. Go out and buy yourself a house. Invest in yourself, your future, your family. It'll make you feel great. Thank you so much for coming, and have a great day. I hope I've persuaded you into seriously considering purchasing a home.